Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a really fascinating categorical tour of the hidden engines powering the cloud. Specifically, we're going to focus on what the most commonly used file systems by major server virtualization platforms actually are, and how each one handles storing your virtual machine files. It's essentially the invisible infrastructure that makes everything tick. So, let's dive right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the overarching challenge of virtual storage, then dive into VMware's custom VMFS ecosystem, Microsoft Hyper-V's ReFS versus NTFS, Red Hat and KVM storage, Proximox's ZFS and LVM, and finally, the foundation of virtualization.
Section 1. The Virtual Storage Challenge.
You know, it's incredibly easy to just picture a virtual machine as a distinct physical server, right? Like it's got its own spinning disks and motherboard somewhere. But when we strip away all that abstraction, where do these massive, highly dynamic entities actually live on the hard drive?
Ultimately, a virtual machine is just a massive file, or a set of files, and the hypervisor needs specialized librarians, so to speak, to read, write, and organize these massive files efficiently across shared clusters. Traditional file systems, they just weren't built for this level of concurrent access, where you have multiple physical hosts that might need to touch the exact same storage pool at the exact same time without totally corrupting the data.
Section 2. VMware's custom VMFS ecosystem.
VMware didn't just adapt an existing file system for this. They built their own from scratch. They rely on VMFS, or the Virtual Machine File System. The absolutely crucial thing to understand here is that this is a cluster file system. It's meticulously designed to allow multiple physical vSphere hosts to concurrently access the same pool of storage. It essentially acts as a traffic cop, using distributed lock management to arbitrate access, making sure hosts don't overwrite each other's data and cause catastrophic corruption.
What's truly fascinating about VMFS is just how strictly organized it is. It uses a unified 1 megabyte file block allocation, which is perfectly optimized to handle those really large virtual disks. It also brilliantly encapsulates all the files for a given VM right into a single directory, which it automatically names after the virtual machine itself. And it scales massively. Recent versions like VMFS 5 and 6 support up to 64 terabytes per volume.
Now, to ensure maximum storage efficiency, VMFS has this really clever way of reclaiming space. When you delete a file inside the virtual machine's guest operating system, the OS initiates an unmap command. The VMDK virtual disk then shrinks. And finally, the ESXi host initiates that exact same unmap command down to the physical storage array to reclaim the actual physical space. It's a highly dynamic, multi-step cleanup process.
Section 3. Hyper-V versus NFS versus NFS.
Let's switch gears to Microsoft. For the longest time, NTFS was just the undisputed standard. And while classic NTFS is still required for boot volumes, and it's great for general workloads or traditional clustered shared volumes, Microsoft has actually been aggressively transitioning Hyper-V environments over to the Resilient File System, or ReFS. ReFS is engineered specifically to maximize data availability, scale way more efficiently, and even automatically repair detected damage using checksums.
ReFS absolutely supercharges Hyper-V with some incredible features. Take block cloning, for instance. Instead of physically reading and writing file data during a copy, it just performs low-cost metadata operations. This makes checkpoint merges lightning fast. Then there's sparse VDL, which zeroes out files so rapidly that creating fixed-size virtual hard disks drops from tens of minutes down to literally seconds. Finally, its copy-on-write feature acts as a built-in safety net, preventing data corruption during unexpected power losses.
Section 4. Red Hat and KVM storage.
Leaving the Windows world entirely, let's look at Red Hat Virtualization. They utilize what they call storage domains. Now, these can either be file-based on NAS systems like NFS or block-based on SANs. But when you use block storage, things get really interesting. The devices are aggregated and smoothly divided into logical volumes by the Logical Volume Manager, or LVM, for use as virtual hard disks.
Within this LVM ecosystem, virtual disks typically use one of two main formats. First, you have the QCOW2 format. It's managed by QMO KVM and is very feature-rich, handling things like thin provisioning and snapshots beautifully. But on the flip side, you have the RAW format. It's much more straightforward and definitely less feature-rich, but as a trade-off, it offers blazingly fast performance.
And that performance difference, it is striking in practice. If we look at benchmark data from a 2010 Linux Plumbers conference, a KVM guest utilizing the RAW format achieves significantly higher throughput.
Across mixed workloads, it performed 1.62 times better than another popular hypervisor tested in these file-back scenarios. QCOW2, on the other hand, trades some of that raw speed for its advanced feature set, so it comes in a bit lower on this specific benchmark.
Section 5. Proxmox, ZFS, and LVM.
Our final platform stop is Proxmox, which presents admins with a really fascinating choice between two very distinct storage philosophies. Users frequently debate between ZFS and LVM. ZFS is this modern powerhouse that combines volume management right into the file system. It offers end-to-end data integrity with checksums, snapshots, and inline deduplication. LVM, conversely, is a traditional mainstay. It's lightweight, highly familiar, incredibly fast for raw I/O operations, and, crucially, has much lower memory requirements than ZFS.
Despite those higher memory needs, ZFS is particularly attractive for high-availability Proxmox clusters. Because it actually computes checksums for all data blocks, it prevents silent data corruption. Furthermore, it enables native virtual machine replication through scheduled incremental snapshots. That makes disaster recovery tightly integrated and just far simpler to manage.
Section 6. The foundation of virtualization.
So we've explored how each major platform handles storing VM files. And while the hypervisor interfaces themselves get all the glory, these invisible file systems are the true foundational engines dictating enterprise speed, stability, and reliability. VMFS determines how clusters scale and handle concurrent access, ReFS accelerates backup operations with metadata magic, LVM maps logical blocks with raw efficiency, and ZFS guarantees long-term data integrity.
They are quite literally the unsung heroes of modern infrastructure. So, the next time you spin up a virtual machine with the click of a button, ask yourself, which file system is quietly running your world? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the architecture beneath the surface.